Hello, everyone. Brad Herlock here from AA Shop Marketing and the host of the Garage Grit podcast. Now, before we jump into today's topic, let me be crystal clear. I am not a coach. My expertise relies and lies in marketing, specifically helping repair shops attract the right type of customers and more of them, boost their visibility, grow their profitability in today's competitive environment. But coaching is something I constantly hear about from shop owners all around the country, and it's a frequent topic in our community discussions and our networking groups and during events and conversations that I attend. I know firsthand from talking with shop owners every day that deciding whether or not to hire a coach or to join a coaching program can feel daunting, complex, overwhelming, a waste of money. The idea of opening up your books, your processes, and perhaps your personal insecurities to someone else is intimidating for a lot of people. It kind of feels like you're just kind of pulling your pants down, right? It's not not an easy thing. It's a difficult thing. So we've decided to explore this crucial topic kind of a little bit deeper on the panel. And that's why we just released episode 21 of the Garage Grit podcast, focusing precisely on this issue. The big question that we tackled was simple yet powerful. Should you, as an auto repair shop owner, get a coach? And if so, how do you choose the right one? To get answers, we brought together a fantastic panel featuring 3 experienced shop owners, and each of these owners had their own very unique experience with coaching, some positive, some challenging, but all incredibly insightful. So if you haven't already listened to that podcast episode, go do it. If you missed that it came out already last Tuesday, then that's because you don't have the notification bell on. You need to subscribe to the channel. You need to get that notification bell. You need to be clicking like on the podcast that you like, because I'm paying attention to that now, and I'd like to learn a little bit about which ones. I'd love your feedback. I want to hear from you, which ones are good topics, which ones are less popular topics, and so on and so forth. But back to coaching, whether you're currently being coached or considering coaching, or whether you're just completely skeptical like so many, there's insight in this podcast that's worth listening to. So you play it while you're doing something else, while you're driving, while you're just in the shop. But in this live stream, I'm going to unpack a little bit of the highlights and the personal journeys from the podcast guests, the panel. And I'm wondering if their stories are going to reflect in your own situation in some ways. So stick around as we dive deeper into their experiences, discover whether or not coaching could be the key. I think it will be, to take your automotive business to the next level. There are times when we're providing marketing services to customers where to shop owners, where we wish that they were a part of a coaching service, because there seems to be just that one piece. We've increased their visibility, we've increased their car count, but that profitability piece is going to be more fine-tuned, obviously, from a coaching perspective. All right, so let's now talk about panelist number 1, Mike Scaglione. Deep industry roots. He's been in the industry for a few decades. And he's currently not involved in a coaching program. So Mike from Virginia Beach, he's seen just about everything in his impressive career. It stretches back to 79, when shops were known for being a service station, right? Gas first. And they lined up based on the license plates just to get gas. I don't know if you're old enough to recall that, but it's a bit of history that's kind of fascinating. Anyway, over the decades, Mike has expanded the operation to 5 locations, building a trusted brand throughout the region. And then more recently, he's made the strategic decision to scale back, and has gone back to a single location, his original multi-base shop. Why? Because he wanted to deeply connect with his first community and regain some of the passion that he had inspired him when he first entered the business. He also wears another important hat. He's the president of the Virginia Automobile Association. Again, the president of the Virginia Automobile Association, actively advocating for the industry across the state. And that perspective uniquely positions him to understand not just the day-to-day operational challenges that a shop owner faces, but also the broader regulatory challenges and the market-driven pressures that affect this industry. One of Mike's standout contributions to the conversation kind of centered around his practical experiences with ATI. ATI coaching service. He took a very balanced approach. He would get periodic coaching help, applying those strategies diligently, stepping back to evaluate those results over a period of years. And then he would cycle back into the coaching program. Now, his experiences showed him how structured coaching can significantly improve profitability and efficiency, especially by creating a clear and effective pricing matrices. He also touched on a critical insight about the emotional discounting phenomenon that shop owners, all businesses, but shop owners included, can fall into, emphasizing that one of the best outcomes from his coaching experience was learning how to effectively remove himself from those pricing decisions, ultimately benefiting the bottom line on the shop and freeing him up from that daily stress. I think you know what I'm talking about. Your buddy comes in, you've known him for decades, and he's asking for a break job or whatnot. And is the cost as it is with any other customer, or are you doing a ridiculous family and friends discount as opposed to a reasonable family and friends discount? And maybe you should have no family and friends discount, but that's for a coach to decide, or for you and the coach to decide. Have you ever wondered about structured coaching like ATI? If you're curious to know about how Mike balanced growth, upsizing, downsizing, and community connection, now's a good time to join this conversation. Have you experienced ATI coaching? And what are your experiences with them? Were you in 20 groups? Mike was not. Are you a part of a different program? How has it impacted your profitability and your stress levels? So on your marks, get set, share your thoughts. Hurry up as fast as you can. Then again, if you're not watching this live, but you're watching it later, you can still add your thoughts. I'm looking forward to reading them. And when it comes to, I don't know, I really enjoyed Mike's perspective on the podcast. And I think it's, again, go check out that episode. I found it interesting that he did that whole periodic thing back, and then he would evaluate and apply. And then he'd cycle back into it. So that was interesting. Okay. Now, I mentioned the 20 groups. If you're a part of the ATI program, you might know what I'm talking about, where in addition to the coaching, they have peer groups set up to help with accountability. And we're going to be talking about that in a little bit more detail with the live number 2. But Josiah and Kevin both talked about that with their experience. So let's unpack Josiah Martin's journey, all right, from Oley, Pennsylvania, very rural area. Josiah's perspective offers something crucial for any shop owner who's been skeptical of coaching, because initially Josiah faced an off-putting experience, kind of a high-pressure sales tactic from a coaching representative that kind of left him disillusioned and kind of resistant to the idea of coaching at all. But for years, he and his business partner just kind of chose to go it alone, working tirelessly, often 70 to 80 hours per week. That sound familiar? Yes. And he was seeing frustratingly little profit at the end of it. Also familiar? Okay. So he shared a powerful, transformative moment in the discussion that I'm sure some of you can relate to. He recalls vividly realizing that if we're working this hard without making a meaningful profit, why are we doing this at all? And at that pivotal moment of burnout, the realization led him to reconsider coaching. I was just talking to somebody else last week, and we talked about whether or not we should have a topic on the podcast about burnout versus life balance. And maybe Josiah can also add to that conversation when it comes up. But in this time, he sought a different approach, landing with Rick White's 180 Biz. That's another coaching group. And so also worth checking out. The coaching Josiah received wasn't merely about numbers or systems, though those were improved significantly. It was fundamentally challenged his mindset, kind of reshaping how he viewed his role as the business owner. It forced him to confront his fears about profitability, pricing, growth, all head on. Josiah emphasized that the profound impact and accountability and mind shift coaching had on him personally. He described how being a part of the coaching group, where openness is about openness of the numbers and those vulnerabilities, are routine. but it also radically improved not just profitability, but also his personal satisfaction and fulfillment as the shop owner. So, as I mentioned, they're a part of a pod group in addition to the one-on-one coaching, and that's where he was sharing those numbers with his team with that pod beyond his team, and keeping that also accountability in place of taking the next steps for improvement. Josiah's experience demonstrates that the right coach doesn't change your business, but your entire perspective on it and what it means to run a successful and rewarding shop. Have you faced burnout? Should we actually have a topic versus burnout versus life balance on the podcast? And have you faced burnout or initial skepticism about coaching in general? How did you overcome it? Or maybe you haven't yet. What are your current hesitations? Let us know your experiences. I want to hear from you guys. All right. So the third panelist was Kevin Bird, a proactive leap into coaching and ownership. So that was kind of a fun and interesting thing. He was being very proactive. He's up in northern Minnesota, a region where it's known for its. We joked about the winters and how he was wearing a long sleeve shirt, and here we are in the end of May. But also, much like Oli, they are also in a tight-knit community. Kevin's path to shop ownership is a little bit more unique because he approached coaching in a proactive way as opposed to a what am I going to do about this way? So unlike most shop owners, right? He actually, before he purchased the shop that he currently owns and runs, he joined ShopFix Academy. And months after joining ShopFix Academy, they finalized the agreement for the purchase of the 9-bay facility. Now, that business historically was geared towards snowplow installations and then automotive repairs in that small town of 3,000 residents. Kevin's thoughtful approach, and because of the coaching, positioned him ahead of that learning curve. And he described how attending the ShopFix event prior to officially owning gave him invaluable insights that shaped his strategy from day one. He didn't come from a traditional automotive background, which made proactive coaching approach, I think, even more critical. But it provided maybe a safety net and a confidence net to leap into the new venture. Kevin highlighted another crucial aspect, the power of having that tribe, that pod, that 20 group in ATI's word. So in ShopFix, they call it a tribe. It's not just about gaining insights, technical or operational. It's about that powerful accountability mechanism and support network. So you run into an issue, you jump out to your support network, and someone's got the answer for you because they've already experienced it, right? So he shared candidly how other members would openly call out problematic assumptions, challenge his perspectives, and consistently encourage him to think bigger, smarter. That accountability and community engagement became one of his greatest assets, creating a long-lasting friendships and essential business relationships. So one of his lessons on his journey was his assertion that your shop operates exactly how you've allowed it to operate. Changing your mindset directly changes your outcomes. Kevin's proactive and open-minded approach provides valuable insights not only for new shop owners, but also seasoned veterans looking to either pivot or level up. Have you ever considered taking a proactive coaching steps even before starting or purchasing another shop or a shop in general? What do you think about this approach? I kind of applaud him for doing that due diligence, that extra homework assignment, basically. And what do you think it would have changed on his trajectory had he not done it? All right. Let's see here. The title of this podcast, Should I Get a Coach? Should you get a coach? When I sat down with the panelists, I was kind of expecting a wider range of opinions. I expected to hear things like coaches aren't for everyone, or it's about the timing in your business. We heard some nuances about the timing, right? But for the most part, not even for the most part, it was very, very clear that every panelist came out clearly in favor of coaching. What became clear is this: coaching can benefit almost every shop owner, but finding the right program, the style, and coach for you is critical. Earlier, we touched on the importance of having factors like personal values, morality, even a sales approach of the coaching organization. These are fair considerations when you're choosing that coach. There's a number of programs out there and available. We only touched on 3 of them because we had 3 panelists, each with distinct approaches. So the key is for you to go do some research, find out which one is resonating with you, your needs, your goals, your business culture. And I want to keep this conversation open and balanced. So if you genuinely feel that coaching isn't beneficial or isn't right for every shop, I want to hear from you. I'm very interested in hearing your perspective. All right. There's not going to be any condemnation. No one's going to, if someone starts to attack, I'll reel them back in. I don't expect that at all. Just lay it out. Coaching isn't this because of this, right? And share your experiences. Let's actually go from there. If you're currently involved in a coaching program, could you share which one it is, how long you've been involved, and why you chose that particular coach or group? If you've listened to, actually, let's say it this way, now that you've listened to, right, or you're about to listen to episode 21, I know I encourage our panelists to be ready for questions about those experiences. So after you've listened to episode 21, please go out and ask questions. If you have questions for Mike about ATI, I'm sure he'd be willing to answer them. Same with if you have questions about ShopFix for Kevin or 1-800-BIZ for Josiah, ask away. And I'll look to get those answers for you. And if you're not comfortable with, posting those publicly, you're more than welcome to DM me or send me an email or give me a call and ask those questions. And I'll see if I can hunt down the answers for you and bring them back to you. But also, we are considering a kind of a couple bonus episodes where we're going to bring on some vendors. I was talking to an HR professional, and if you recall in episode, was it 17, where we were talking about hiring and the processes around that. And so I might be bringing on an HR professional to have that conversation just real briefly, kind of like a vendor insight on best practices, if you will. And so if you're from ATI or ShopFix Academy or 1-800-BIZ, and you want to add or augment what was said on the last panel or on this live stream, please, by all means, reach out. We'll schedule you for a quick 15-minute bonus episode where you can kind of share some additional thoughts. And I'd be happy to do that for you. So, all right. Thanks again to everybody. Drop your comments and questions as always. And to just kind of wrap things up, episode 21, Mike, Josiah, Kevin, by the way, if you guys are listening, thank you for being our guest on the podcast. I think you really illustrated the diverse yet powerful reasons that auto repair shop owners should consider investing in coaching. Each of these stories highlights a distinct and perspective and a different approach, but they all converge at that single idea that kind of coaching can fundamentally improve your shop. We saw Mike's thoughtful and structured approach, leveraging coaching periodically to recalibrate his shop's efficiency, pricing, and profitability. He views coaching as something that you need to apply consistently, but also strategically, and make sure that you're using the systems and that they remain in place and effective. Josiah's story of transitioning from skepticism and burnout to a healthier, more profitable business, that was nice. That really resonated. And so for Josiah, coaching didn't just reshape his business, it reshaped his mindset. And then as also, kind of Kevin pointed out from his experience, that reshaping of your mindset is one of the first steps to reshaping your business. So don't undervalue your services, move beyond those barriers. And that's some of the things that 180-BIZ helped Josiah. With Kevin, that proactive approach, I love that. It really helped him from day one, putting the shop in the right direction. Having trust, he emphasized trusting the tribe and how it was instrumental, not only to his profitability, but his ongoing growth as a shop leader. All right, so we're going to continue the live stream series about the panel. And in part 2, we're going to go deeper into how coaching provides essential accountability structures and the dynamic power and peer groups. All right, the dynamic power of the peer groups. We're going to explore how different coaching communities operate and how they foster accountability and how that translates into real and measurable business results. So if you're not part of ATI and ShopFix Academy or 180 Biz, but you think that you have some extra insights to add, reach out to me between now and the next live stream, and I'll see if I can't get those worked into the content for that discussion. But in part 3, we're going to then talk about the financial impacts. We'll talk specifically about pricing strategies, overcoming emotional discounting, and practical examples from our guests on how coaching boosted their profitability. You don't have to wait until next week. You can get started right now by just listening to episode 21. You can find it wherever you get their podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or even on YouTube. I encourage you to tune in because there's so much more insights shared by our guest than we can cover here in any one live stream. I also want to invite you personally to join the Facebook group community. That's where this is streaming. It's also streaming on YouTube. But if you're watching on YouTube, get over to Facebook and get involved in the Garage Grit Facebook community. That's where our shop owners, real shop owners like you, are connecting, learning, and sharing practical advice every day. That's the community I'm trying to foster. That's what I'd love for all this to be for you guys. Finally, if you have any questions about the coaching programs we mentioned, again, these were ATI, ShopFix, and the 180 Biz, or just in coaching in general. Feel free to comment or reach out, and I'll see if I can, connect you to people with real answers and real world experiences. If marketing clarity for your shop is what you're actually after, that's my wheelhouse. And you can message me anytime or visit us on aashopmarketing.com. I'm here to help. That's the purpose behind the Garage Grit. It's also the purpose behind AA Shop Marketing. We're trying to help as many shops as possible. So thanks again for tuning in. I truly appreciate your attention and your engagement today. I'm going to catch you on the next live stream. But until then, keep growing, keep grinding, and keep making your shop the best it can possibly be. All right. Thank you.